Record. Good evening and welcome to tonight's crew call. My name is Jimmy Hayes Nelson. I'm the founder of the crew and I'm your host tonight, coming to you live from Dallas, Texas, where all of a sudden we went from ice storms to like spring weather today. It's been crazy, but I'll take it because I'm not really a cold weather guy. There's a reason I left New York City, came back to Dallas, was for the heat and the warmth. I'm so excited that you're here. If this is your very first crew call, welcome. It speaks volumes to how serious you are about being successful as a coach, is the fact that you have invested this time this evening to plug in. We say it every week that successful coaches are engaged coaches, and the fact that you're here is showing that you're an engaged coach. It also tells me that you have a very special sponsor coach who cares deeply about your success because they have told you the importance of being on these calls. That as a successful coach, this is what we do. This is what we do. And every Monday night, we're here at 7 Central, and we try to keep these short, but they're crazy vital. It's either me or another leader on the crew, or sometimes we have guest speakers, but we always try to come at least with one big nugget for you to take away. And the other thing that you will realize from the successful coaches here are those that learn something in this call. The ones that are the most successful, the ones that activate it immediately. This is something that it's come up a couple times this week, and it's really funny because there's so many fantastic trainings going on right now. We have people plugging into Chalene Johnson's Smart Success modules, right? Life-changing stuff going on there. We have people plugging into Mari Smith's Facebook ads, or people are reading, Jab, 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 Right Hook by Gary Vaynerchuk. We have people that are jumping into Shalene's Instagram training. All these things are fantastic. I know that there have been people that are going, Wade Lamping plugged in and literally watched an all-day event led by the guy that wrote Go Pro, specifically just about the home business industry. And he was sharing some of the fascinating things that he took away from that. And it really made me regret that I didn't plug into that. I was like, man, I really wish I'd have watched that whole thing and got in on that, because he had some amazing things about just expectations in our business, and really how a lot of times we lowball our expectations and our goals because they're safe. And, he was learning not only from Beachbody coaches, but people across our industry at some of the standards they set for themselves. They always talk about, shoot for the, what is it? Shoot for the moon and you end up in the stars, or shoot for the stars and you're going to end up in your cloud. I don't know what that is. Shoot high, even if you don't hit it, you're going to end up in a really cool spot. That's my paraphrase version of that. And it really challenged me because I asked him what he was learning in that. But I also I want to bring this up to those of you that are doing stuff like that. And everybody should be investing in their skill set, right? We have, even if you're in a crew basics class right now, or in a basics class with your sponsor coach, is that there's a very fine line here that is really, really important. It's because it's a trap that I have fallen into in the past. Is you plug into a training or get to an event, or you're in like learning mode, right? And you're so excited about what you're learning, and you invest that time in learning, and you get so excited about all the things you could do with this learning, that your brain really doesn't know that it shoots off endorphins, right? And it doesn't really know the difference between the excitement you have about the things, the ideas you're having, and the excitement you have when you actually implement these things and do them. I see this a lot when it comes to a Super Saturday. Like, we have a Super Saturday coming up soon. Hopefully you guys are getting plugged in and starting to figure out what Super Saturday you're going to be at on January 11th. And or they go to Summit. And what happens is we're sitting there and getting all this great training from corporate or speakers, and we get really excited and we start talking to our friends about, oh, we could do this, or we could start a blog, or we could do this, this video thing, or we could do this with an Instagram account, or, oh my gosh, what about this on Twitter or Snapchat, or, oh, I'm going to do a fit club and I'm going to do this, and we get really excited, and we're really good about patting each other on the backs, or patting ourselves on the back in our own head as we're going through a training by ourselves, because we're so impressed with the ideas we're coming up with. But then we never actually activate them, because we get done, and then if I were to come to you and say, what did you do this week towards building your business? And you're like, oh, well, Jimmy, I spent an hour, I spent 2 hours, I spent 3 hours plugging into Smart Success. I sat and read all of Jab, 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 Right Hook. Okay, that's great. You have a lot of knowledge base. What did you do with that information? And I've run into a lot of coaches this week that was like, oh, well, nothing. Or oh, I didn't have time to really do anything yet because I've just been investing time learning. And guys, I've been the biggest culprit of this, where I've bought 4, 5, 6. In fact, I'm sitting here with about 3 trainings in my back pocket of things I've invested money in that I need to get to, and or I'm working my way through. And I had to literally sit down and tell Kelly, said, "Hey, I need you to help me with my calendar, that I have learning hour and then I have doing hours. That literally I have an hour on my schedule, and my schedule is different than yours, so you may not have an hour in this, but that if you sit down and figure out how many hours a week you're investing into your Beachbody business, and then give a percentage of that time towards a learning aspect. So maybe it's just that you're just going through crew basics. That's completely fine. But if you spend your entire time in that group commenting on everybody else's comments, but you're never out actually building your business, that's not doing you any good, right? It's kind of like the professional student. It's like, I'm gonna get my bachelor's, then I'm gonna get my master's, then I'm gonna get my second master's, then I'm gonna get my doctorate, then I'm gonna get my super duper doctorate. But they like never actually go into the work field because they just want to stay in academia. Don't do that. Go do these things. And but like I said, I know it's really exciting time right now because there are so many amazing trainings out there right now. And uh, I've invested in all the ones that I've told you about. I have, or I've invested in, or I'm working through. And for me, sometimes I'll pick one a day, and sometimes I'll go through one linearly. And sometimes I will pick different ones to plug into. Uh, just one second here. Um, and plug into things a little differently. Like, so maybe one day I'm doing the Instagram one, and the next day I'm doing something else, and the next one I'm doing something else. So you know best on how you're going to apply these things, but I think it's vital. It's super vital. That you are giving yourself an opportunity to activate these things. Like, literally, I was reading my book the other, reading Jab, 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 Right Hook, and Gary said something about ways to throw effective jabs and to create engagement on Facebook. So something I really challenged with, but my Facebook like page, the engagement's gone way, way down now that Facebook's changed some of the rules, right? So I was like, oh, it's a great idea. So I literally like bookmarked it, grabbed my phone, activated something, sent it, got back to my reading, and that thing, it did really well, like 40 something comments on it, right? And but you got to make sure that you're activating what it is that you're doing. So that, I always have like a tip off the top that normally isn't planned, but that's the one that came out. So somebody needed to hear that tonight. I would love if there was a thread on the crew wall to hear, this is the training I'm doing, and this is what I've activated. So if it is, you're reading Jab, 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 Right Hook, like that's what we as a team have committed to reading this month. Don't be the person that says, I've read the whole book, and I say, great, what did you do so far? And they're like, oh, well, nothing. Well, I'm thinking about this, or I'm planning on this, or this seems like a good idea. Just go activate something, man. Just go do it. Throw it against the wall, see what sticks. The great thing about social media, any post, link, picture, whatever, you can delete it. Like, if it totally bombs and it stunk, hey, it's deleted, so that's what I got. So let's get to slides. I got other things I want to get to, but let's get to slides here that my lovely wife, Kelly Nelson, has put together. And always, give her a shout out. She works so hard on these and does such an amazing job. And I've had many top coaches as guests on our team calls. And to a person, they all say, wow, I love y'all's format. I love the video and the pictures. And, and that's all. Kel has done the research on finding some of the best ways for us to do these things. And please just give her a big round of applause anytime you get an opportunity. Speaking of round of applause, as he segues so effortlessly, like a good actor, is recognition. Love to recognize you guys and make sure that you are recognized for the work that you're doing. Guys, we have an amazing month, an amazing opportunity right now. This is the busy time of year, right now and next month. And for those of you that are plugging away and doing the work now, your January, where everybody's wanting to do New Year's resolutions, is going to be even huger, bigger and badder and better. And so we want to recognize the people in our volume leaders. These are people who last week is their team volume. Their team volume means the volume that they have personally purchased, the team volume of those products, and the team volume of the products that people have purchased through them, right? that's still a little hazy to you, don't worry. You'll learn more about it in your basics class, and you always have your entire back office, your policies and procedures. And if you're one of those people that like to go read all the dirty details, all that stuff's in your back office for you. Let's get to the Crew 200. We have Kathy and Carmen and Mandy and Brian and Jessica and Yanelba and Kelly and Michelle and Eric and Brenda and Lorelai or Laura Lee. I'm not sure. Paul, Eric, Lori, Cherie, Kendra, Danelle, and Morgan. Congratulations to the Crew 200 Club. That's awesome. That means their volume points were between 200 and 299 last week, and that's great. The Crew 300 Club, John in his combined CBCs, Kristen, Rosalie, Ben, Wade, Melanie, Kelly, Shannon, Vic, and Brandy in combined CBCs is the Crew 300 Club. So that's between their volume points were between 300 and 399 last week. Usually there's multiple products involved to hit that 300. It's a couple of challenge packs and a Shakeology or Cordastra, or maybe it's an E&E, or they're finding ways not only to get those customers, but then follow up with those customers and see, hey, I noticed you were doing P90X, or you got the P90X3 challenge pack, which means you got the program and you got your Shakeology, but are you planning on working out in the morning? But you doing that little boost before a workout, man. We have this energy and endurance tub that I really think would be beneficial to you. Or man, you make sure that you get that recovery drink because you want to make sure that your muscles get what it needs after these workouts. I hate to see you do this much work and not get the results that you really deserve. Here, let me show you some things that are going to accelerate those results. They're just looking to just continue to help and serve those people that they bring in. The Crew 400 Club, Cindy, Tulin, and Michelle. Congratulations, ladies. That's awesome, and it's so cool to see names on there and names that are popping up that we don't always see all the time, right? The Big Boys Club, the Bigger Boys Club, the Crew 500 to 999 Club, Alex, Michelle in combined CBCs, Steve, Angela, Mary, my second CBC, Adrian, and Christy. That's really impressive there. That's a lot of Diamond coaches, and Steve and Alex are like, hey, Diamond coaches, I'm going to come bust up this party as well, which I think is awesome. I love that. So congratulations. And then leading the pack again right now is Dr. Jamil, which is awesome because this man is a full-time doctor on call, crazy hours, and yet, on a really consistent week in, week out basis. I think there's a pretty big battle for the top of Success Club points we'll get to in a second. But what I love about Jamil is that he's probably busier than anybody on this call right now. And the fact that he shows up on a regular basis always puts me in check to be like, am I making the most out of my time? And am I sharing with the people that come into my life on a day-to-day basis? So much of what he does is at the hospital, serving those people and with his coworkers so much, that he just goes in and leads by example. And they start asking him, Dr. Jamil, why are you so dreamy and fit? Oh, it's because you do this stuff. And then he's really bold with them about, hey, I really feel this is what you should do. A lot of times I find that we as coaches, both new and old, are really hesitant to tell people what we recommend. But we weren't before we became coaches, right? Like if you recommended a movie or ladies a makeup line or a shampoo or guys a car or a restaurant or a bar or whatever, man, we're really bold. Dude, you got to check this out. And then somehow along the way, like when we became coaches and we knew we got a commission for it, we became really meek and timid. And that's something Jamil doesn't do. He's very forthright about this and just like, no, I really think, I would highly recommend you check this out. And I think that's awesome. I think that's something we all can learn from him as well. Rank advancement this week. We have, this is so excited. Elizabeth Wagner, Margaret Garrity, and Marvin Nutter are all bursting new emeralds. Margaret and Marvin and Elizabeth, are you in a basics group also? I don't know. I'm gonna feel really bad if she's like, yeah, I was in there the other day, you commented on something. But I know for a fact Margaret and Marvin in, and so what I love that is it's just showing, oh, we're missing one here too, unless we grabbed her last week. Lindsay is new. Norris is a new emerald as well. And I hope, unless we did it last week. If not, she was on last week. Thanks, Lindsay. Thank you so much. I was like, oh my gosh, did I forget? I wanted to make sure that everybody got got a shout out because there's nothing worse than doing the work and not getting a little pat on the back because we all love some recognition. Vickety Vix is our brand new diamond. This chick is rocking. I think she says she signed up 5 coaches in a 72-hour period. In fact, Vic, I need to have you on this call as our special guest soon. And I will be in touch with you to do that because I feel like that's a story that you need to hear. And so that's so awesome. And she shared with some of our basics groups kind of how she went about that and about how many seeds were planted in that. Double your rate of failure, double your rate of no's. If you guys are listening, if you ever listen to, there's an audio, I can always recommend it. It's going to iTunes or going to Audible and look up Jim Rohn, Building Your Network Marketing Business. And I've been listening to this audio for 6 years, and I still learn something every time I listen to it. And but he just talks about he said, when you're new, make up for in numbers what you lack in skill. And I think that's even a big message for veteran coaches because I feel like we get cocky, that we feel like our skills are better. And I'm like, what if I went and doubled the rate of the people that I talk to? Because I still get told no all the time. Like, what if I just went and doubled that sucker? How many coaches, Vicky can bring in 5 in a 72-hour period. Like, part of that sparks me, and it's like she shows what's possible. So I'm like, I want to go do that. If she can do it, why can't I do that, right? And hopefully everybody has that. And what's been so cool is that she's just been so open and willing to share and lead by example. So congratulations. And then which makes Mr. Chris a 1-star diamond coach. So that's a blingity bling area right there. And so that's really awesome. And so that happens because as a diamond coach, when one of your coaches becomes diamond, you become a star diamond, whether it's a 1-star, 2-star, 3-star. There's extra bonuses and extra privileges that come with each of those. So if you're a new coach and you're kind of looking at the possibilities of this thing, I really hope you're plugged into a basics group because you're going to learn what all of this means. And then you learn like all the cool bonuses that come along with it. So that's really rock star and awesome. So congratulations to Elizabeth, Margaret, Marvin, Vic, and Chris. Hey, let's talk about Success Club points. How do we get them? Who knows? I know. Hey, I'm going to tell you real quick in case you're new and you don't know. Success Club, every month we're all looking to hit at least minimum 5 Success Club points. That's just like non-negotiable minimum. If you want a successful business, you're hitting Success Club every month. End of story, period. How do you get that? You get that by making 1 Success Club point for any time somebody gets on Shakeology Home Direct, right? You get 2 points for anybody that gets on a challenge pack, which is such a better value anyway. So like right now, we'll talk about here in a little bit, right now you can get P90X3 for $180, which is ridiculous. If somebody got Shakeology by itself, not on Home Direct, they're going to pay over $140 for it. But they can get an entire program, like the most cutting edge program, which is P90X3, for an extra $40. Are you kidding me? That's nuts. And I've told this story before. When I bought P90X the very first time, I paid well over $200 for it. There was no Shakeology. And you get a hat too. So that'd be 2 Success Club points. So really think about this. You help 3 people get started to commit that they're going to be in your P90X3 challenge group that starts, maybe January 3rd or January 6th or whatever you're doing. You've made Success Club. You make Success Club by just helping 3 people make a commitment to themselves. And this time of year, there's a lot of people that are ready to make a commitment to themselves. Even if they're not starting till January 6th, help them make the commitment now so you can help them get set up in a group and start looking at their food choices and just using their Shakeology right now. Say, hey, enjoy your holiday meals, do what you need to do, but start drinking your Shakeology now, and it's nothing else. It's going to keep you well in the winter months, right? So that's an easy way. So like we go through it every week. Here's how to make Success Club 5 in 3 people. Fit Dude Frank gets a P90X2 challenge pack or 3 challenge pack, right? Because he's tired of drinking Nesquik or Muscle Milk or any other crappy thing on the market with a bunch of artificial sweeteners and bleh in it. And he wants to put some Shakeology in his body. Jerry is tired of doing, I saw a lot of that at the Cowboy game yesterday. I kind of felt like that after the Cowboy game yesterday, to be real honest with you, because I've had like 2 holiday parties and I went to a game yesterday and I ate like it. But so maybe I was feeling bleh, and so I wanted to get a T25 challenge pack. So Jerry there gets 2 points. And the busy mom, she's fit. She's carrying the baby and the groceries and the briefcase and the paper. So she's already fit, but she's on the go. She didn't have time to make lunch in the middle of the day. So she wanted to get her some Shakeology, and so that was her 1 point. So just by helping 3 people get started, boom, there's my Success Club 5. So who are people that have made Success Club already this month? Or what are we on, the 15th, 16th? We're on the 16th right now. So we're right about mid-month, guys. We always encourage you to hit the first of the month like it's the last of the month. And these are the people that have actually taken heed to that, right? Mary, look at Mary and Allison out of the box. They're actually above Dr. J, Jamil, with 11 Success Club points, man. Mary and Allison have been so amazing. And Allison just kind of came out of nowhere, gangbusters, newer coach, but she's plugged into a group, right? She's learning and she's activating. And she's like, let's go, man. She sees this thing for what it is and has a rock star written all over her. Mary's the same way, man. Was using the programs for a while, and that light bulb just came on. Why? Because they're plugging in, they're learning the training, and they're activating what they learn immediately, and they're working on their skill set. What I love about somebody like Mary, full-time job, professional, like Jamil as well, like so many of you, full-time family and job and everything. And I remember Mary told me that when she decided to get serious about that, she committed to working her business 1 hour a day, and she was going to do it on her lunch break. And if for whatever reason she got interrupted in her lunch break, she had right before bed, family in bed, whatever, that she was going to finish that hour or make up that hour. And just consistently doing that, it didn't take her but a couple months. Mary, you'll have to correct me if I'm wrong here, but until she was making an extra $500 a month. 2 months. Thank you, Mary. 2 months of doing that. She was making an extra $500 a month because she consistently worked her business for an hour. That isn't fiddle farting around on Facebook, not really doing anything. It's not playing Candy Crush. It's working her business, like doing her things, like inviting, posting, following up, doing her personal development, like doing the things that build this business that we talk about all the time. 2 months and she's making $500 a month on a consistent basis. Now making her way to, I think, $1,000 a month now and growing from there. And that's all in under a year because she decided to take this seriously and treat this stinking thing like a business, not like a social club where we are social and we have fun, not like a plaything, not like a hobby. You treat this like a business. It will pay you like a business. And how much would your life change right now with an extra $500 or $1,000 this month or any month to help with bills or debt or gifts or whatever it is, or vacation for the fam? I don't know. But I know that the people on this list also, I'm at Success Club 8, Kristen's at 5, Danelle's at 5. So midway through this month, I really expect this list to be a lot bigger. I expect all of our leaders to be on here by the 15th. I really do, guys. I know I've talked about that. I've talked about it in the Diamond Group, but I just think leaders take care of things at the beginning of the month, man. You lead by example, and I think as leaders, and all of I think all of us are leaders in our right mind. Your rank doesn't define you whether or not you're a leader on this team. How you interact in this team and how you treat this thing determines whether you're a leader or not. So when I say leaders, and I'm not just talking to the Diamond and the Star Diamond coaches here, you could be a brand new coach that you've decided you're going to do this thing for real. And that's what I mean by leader is you treat this thing like it is. Like, why would you want to go into Christmas and New Year's while you're supposed to be spending time with your family tied to your phone or your computer or whatever, stressing about ending the year to make Success Club? Which leads me to my training that I can't quite get to yet. Oh my gosh, that'd have been the greatest segue, but I have like 3 more slides to get to. These are the people that are on the board, right? So they have points. Vicky, Diana, Marvin, Cherie, Christine, Bev, Margaret, Lizzie, Jeremy, Chris, Chase, Suhana, Wade, Cindy, Tulin, Shannon, and Joe, all on the board. And I've also been told that Alex Panganaban is also, he's a 4 and isn't on this list as well. So props to Alex as well. So that's on the greatest point is, guys, 3 people. You could be on this list before the night ends tonight. You could be on this list and above the line before the night. You literally could. It's just a matter of going and interacting with people, right? And there's a billion ways to do that. And there's so many trainings in different ways that we've all plugged in to do that. But, Twitter, Snapchat, a good old-fashioned phone call, a text message, YouTube, Facebook. I could go on and on and on. go Google, how do I find people? Like 8,000 articles, right? Own your business. So congratulations to you. Remember, if you're a newer coach, you can get a free ticket to Summit just by making Success Club your first 3 months. That's so amazing. And that's a huge value, is getting to Summit. And, again, you need to make the decision now. Hey, if I'm really going to be in this for the long haul, then you commit. You commit to go to Summit right now. You take a little bit of that holiday money, Christmas money, whatever. My birthday. Yeah, you go to Summit for my birthday. I'd take that. That'd be a good birthday present. Um, and but that whatever you're getting, you're gonna get a gift card or something in the mail, or some money this holiday season. Why not invest it back in you and get to Summit and just make that decision now? That bag or that video game system or that whatever can wait. It's not, those new clothes, the whatever, I was told the other day that the average American has between $1,000 and $3,000 worth of crap in their home that they don't use that you could go sell on eBay. And you could go to Summit like 12 times on $3,000. Or maybe not 12 times. I guess it depends on what you decide to do in Vegas. Let's also say hello to our new coaches. I'm just going to run through first names here real quick. And I probably might butcher one of those as well. If you're new here, I've always tell people my spiritual gift is butchering names. So if I butcher yours, that's my gift to you via the heavens. Ada or Ida or Aida, like the opera. Amanda, Andre, Bradley, Bria, Brianne, Kathy, Chris, Elizabeth, Heidi, Katie, Kim, Lee, Leslie, Megan, Michael, Mike, Neon, like Neon Dion Sanders. That would be awesome. I bet you're just as fast, Neon. Rebecca, Stefan, Steven, and Sue. Welcome to the crew. So excited to have you guys here. Just our family gets bigger and bigger. And big virtual hug from me and mine to yours. Top recruiter. I keep bringing her name up. It's Vicky. I love this picture too, by the way. But I'm definitely having Vic on. We'll see if we can make that work maybe next week, Vicky, depending on your schedule. I would love to have you pop on here because people can really learn so much from you. And and guys, this all she took off coming out of New Orleans, right? So events. So you have an opportunity to get to an event with Super Saturday right around the corner, January 11th. And that's something you really need to get into. And if you need help finding one near you, let us know on the crew wall and we will find one near you. Might you have to travel a couple hours to get to the nearest one? Yes. And let me say this about Super Saturday real quick. I think it's very, very important to get to one where there's some other successful coaches going on. So yes, you have the option to host your own, right? You always have the option to host your own, and you can get that, and you get the Beachbody, the video. But if the difference is I need to maybe drive 3 hours so I can be around some coaches that are as successful or more successful than me and be around some people they're going to help challenge me and lift me up. I know for me, the year my business took off, I literally went to 7 events that year, trainings and different things, and I needed to get around some coaches that were going to push me into my comfort zone. And that's what it did, and that's really where that was the year my business took a big turn. So that's just mine. You don't have to do what I did, even though it worked. But I would really encourage you to do that. Wait, I see I have a question here. Melinda, the three things for Success Club starters for new coaches, new coaches. So, and that you get like a grace month. So let's say I'm a new coach in December. I could make it December, January, February, or I could make it January, February, March, and get that ticket. Oh, we got exciting announcements. Drum roll, please. You have asked for it. You've asked a lot for it. And now it's here and live. TheCrewGear.com. Your wear and share needs are all at your disposal and your fingertips. You need some slick gear to represent our team at the next Super Saturday, Super Sunday, your grocery store, picking up the kids from school, going to the bank, going to the kids' Little League game, going to watch the Cowboys choke away a game, and you just want to go out there and talk to people that look really unhealthy. I don't know where you're doing your wear and share. Hopefully you're doing it everywhere. But now we have some pimp gear. And thank you, Alicia Flores, for hooking us up with this amazing site. We got kind of our initial launch line that's up now, and there will be new items added periodically. We'll also have special event items for those that make that qualify for special events. But I am stoked about this. Alicia and Kelly have been working tirelessly on this, so let them know. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm really excited. So you can go to thecrewgear.com as of like right now and go bananas. And I'm totally loving all. I'm gonna sit here and like look at all these yays, yay, yay, what, thanks, yay. I wish I could take credit for any of this. Basically, my whole involvement in this was like, oh, I like that shirt over that shirt. That was literally my so Christy, awesome prices. It's a challenge pack, right? So we try to keep things affordable for you guys, and just but I know that it's the number. And what a great thing to introduce your new coaches to and get them like, hey, you're gonna need like 3 of these shirts now. Just trust me, right? So I love the fact that you guys are excited. December promotion, we're going to fly right through this because I already talked about this, guys. The P90X3 Challenge Pack, it's bananas, bananas, bananas value if you build it as value. If somebody asks me, hey, so how much is it? I never just say 180. Man, I stop back. I'm like, okay, well, this is what goes on. You're going to get the whole program. We're going to take care of your nutrition and take care of one of your meals a day. You're going to get a full meal plan. You're going to get me and all my time as a coach in our private challenge group. And normally you would pay a personal trainer that like 50 to 100 hours an hour. We're going to include that in there. We're going to waive that price. Normally, this whole package deal, even after the discounts, is still $205. Right now, just because I know you're really serious about this, I got you covered for $180. And literally, once I set that whole thing up, people are like, oh, that's it? Cool, I'm in. But you got to set that up, right? So that's what we got there. Oops, press the wrong button. So let's talk a little bit about what I wanted to talk about, the one key thing that you need to do that successful coaches do. And this time of year, it's really big. And I don't care if you're a veteran coach who had set some goals that you've already reached. You're a veteran coach who set some goals that you have not reached and you don't think is going to be possible to reach in the next 2 weeks before the year's over. If you're a brand new coach and you're like, I'm still learning this and getting my feet wet. If you're a disengaged coach that's just plugging back in. Successful coaches, successful people finish strong. Wow, what a timely example. So for those of you that aren't sports fans, let me share with you a bit of my day yesterday. I went with fellow crew coach Aaron Sontner to the Dallas Cowboys game. He has season tickets, nice enough to invite me along. It was really awesome. Amazing seats. Probably the best seats I'd ever had in that stadium. And I watched my beloved Dallas Cowboys lead at halftime 26-3 against a Packers team playing with a backup quarterback, a backup quarterback who had already been cut twice this year by 2 other teams. And everybody was feeling peachy keen and happy in that stadium. Only to watch the Packers score 5 touchdowns in the second half and to watch Dallas just not make smart decision after not smart decision. And basically, they stopped doing what got them success in the first place, right? They were running the ball very well, and they were making some really smart decisions, and they were playing with a lot of intensity on defense. They started to believe their hype at halftime, right? They started to think, oh, we got this. And instead of continuing to remember the little things they were doing, the little tiny minute details they were doing that got them to where they were, you get a little cocky and you start rounding edges, what I call, right? You start not taking that extra step. You start not making that extra phone call. You start not staying up that extra 30 minutes to do something that was on your to-do list. You don't follow up with that person in a timely manner that was interested in your challenge group or being a coach. You don't spend that 15 minutes on Twitter encouraging people and making new relationships, or Facebook or Instagram, or texting that new coach making sure that they're plugged into their crew challenge or crew basics group. You get lazy because you've put coaches in the crew community groups and think, I don't need to coach and support my customers anymore because the crew has this group to do that for me. And you wonder why none of your people are interacting and why none of your customers ever upgrade themselves to become coaches, because you didn't finish strong. You started strong, you came out of the box and you got to Emerald quick. Or maybe you hit 2 Success Club points. Or maybe you got to Diamond. Or maybe you got to 2 or 5 or 10-star Diamond, and you start getting cocky and thinking, oh, I got this. Because we don't finish strong. And what happens when we don't finish strong is that somebody out there is willing to work harder than we are. Who are those people? It could be another coach that your person turns to because they're not feeling support from their coach. Happens every day. I get messages all the time. Yeah, I had a coach, but they disappeared on me, or they were only really interested in my Shakeology sale, or once I signed up to be a coach, I never heard from them again. I would love to work with somebody that I can get some support from. It could be that the person working harder than you is the messages out there about quick fix, right? Quick fix. Something that's not healthy for them to hit their health and fitness goals. That they're starving themselves, or it's something with like chemical bad ingredients, or something that company, person, rep, maybe it's a commercial, I don't know, but that thing is working harder than you decided to finish. They heard that message, they didn't hear from you, and that's where it goes. It could be another opportunity, right? I've seen this all the time. I've run into people that got signed up with a different company that does something maybe similar to what we do, and I was like, oh, but I had realized that I never reached out to them. It could be a fact that somebody ends up actually signing up as a coach with somebody else. I've had that happen before too. A buddy of mine I used to be an actor with showed up at a Super Saturday, thought he was there as one of my guests, only to learn that he had signed up a couple weeks ago with somebody else. And I couldn't be mad because I didn't do my job, right? I didn't finish strong. So this is a really easy time of year to like go into cruise control. And all I know is if you want to be successful, usually figure out what the majority of the people are doing and do the opposite. And I'm talking about like you and your job. So I know right now, this is what the easy thing to do is right now is saying, oh my gosh, this person needs to hear this message. I need to go tell this coach that. I need to. I'm talking just to you, right? Your business. And by when I mean your business, I don't mean your team. I mean your business, which is retailing and recruiting. That at the end of the day, that's your business. And that's really where 70% of your effort should go, even as your team grows. Because we have things like Coach Basics class and stuff. I'm going to tell you right now, I'm running 2 separate basics class and a Diamond Quest group, and none of them are the majority of my time. And we're having great results in there and great success. Why? Because I structured it to where I knew that I wanted to go in there, support those people, touch base with them, but I needed to get back to recruiting and retailing because that's where this business is built. So if we become management mode or learning only mode, right, that I talked about before, or we're just sticking in cruise control because we thought, oh, I already hit my goals, or I'm not going to hit my goals this year. What's the point? I'll just start again in January. So you tell me who's going to have the more successful January. The person who's created this momentum and then gets cocky or lazy or both, starts rounding corners, stops running the football in the second half, and they coast. So they kind of coast into January in this slow petering kind of only, and as you know, if something stops or slows down, it's so hard to rev that momentum up. Or versus the coach that right now continues to work and finish strong and commit that, like we talked about Mary earlier, that 1 hour a day. I'm not telling you got to burn, you got to stay up and pull all-nighters. That's your decision. It's your decision how you and where you want to build your business. I know coaches that made that decision. Hey, for this month, man, I'm getting 2 less hours of sleep at night and I'm busting my hump at night to answer messages or do whatever. That's between you and your family and God and however you want to build your business. That's not my prerogative. But whatever it is that you committed to, are you fully committing to that time? Maybe it's 30 minutes. Maybe it's an hour a day like Mary did and then made 500 a month and 1,000 and she's on her way to $2,000 a month while still holding down a full-time job. But what are you doing to finish strong? Are you constantly just cheerleading your other coaches, telling them, why aren't you guys doing this? Why aren't you guys doing this? Man, anytime, and I'm speaking to me too here, guys, is that anytime I've been frustrated with my team as a whole, maybe my personally sponsored coaches, because I'm like, why aren't they doing this? Why aren't they doing this? I got to go look at the guy in the mirror and I got to go look at have I made Success Club yet? How many coaches have I sponsored this month? What am I doing? Am I adding to my list in my network every day? Am I adding influence right now? Am I taking what I'm learning, whatever my personal development, my training is, am I activating that right now? And if I'm not doing, and I'm dragging or saying, remember, you're supposed to do this, you're supposed to do this, but I'm not leading by example, I have zero integrity and I become a really craptastic leader. People follow those that are doing. I posted this video in the crew the other day, is that every successful coach, if you want to be successful, you need to be sharing your fitness journey from right where you are right now, and I posted that on my Facebook wall today. I'm like, man, I feel bloaty, heavy, puffy, burnt, and I just kind of talked about my week. And it was a great outpour, right? Because I was a real person. And so, but if you're not leading by example by sharing, this is the program I'm doing, here's my Shakeology, this is what I'm doing, who wants to join me? And all you're doing is telling your people or other people that's what they need to be doing, you're not finishing strong either. If you're new and you're not plugging into that Coach Basics group and doing the assignment that day or giving the response, on my groups, I really encourage video responses. They take literally 2 minutes. Somebody like Marvin does such a great job. Marvin, another new coach, that dude is a rock star in the making. Why? Because he's making a ton of money already? No. Why? Because he has rank advance, so we know that. But I knew he was going to be a rock star before he made a dime, because he came in and he just followed directions, right? I was like, hey, I really encourage video responses, and that dude is in there like video response a day. This is what I'm doing. This is what's going well. This is what's not going well. But he does the work every day. He's like the epitome of consistency and what I love to see in a coach. And the thing is, in the middle of your success, this is the hard part. You see sports teams do this all the time. A team, say they win a championship, it's so hard to repeat because they're not willing to do the tiny little details they did to get them to that level in the first place. They didn't stay those 10, 15, 20 minutes after practice and catch those extra passes or throw the extra balls or take the extra shots. They didn't show up 20 minutes before the practice to make sure that they warmed up and did extra things and did mental reps and stuff. So like all these little details. So don't sketch the details, man. Don't let that go. Finish this thing strong. You've got 2 weeks to hold your head high going into 2014 saying, man, I'm on a roll. That way you already have momentum when the first hits, right? As opposed to being like everybody else that right now is going to say, it doesn't matter. I'm shutting this thing down. I'll start again on the first. Well, if you start again on the first, you're going to miss this big momentum of all this money and money to be made, people to be helped, people to be recruited, that people are going to want to jump right on January 1st, January 2nd, right? And if you're just trying to get your momentum up yourself, you're not ready to help. So you're going to miss this gigantic golden egg opportunity in January because you decided not to finish strong now. Okay? So that's what's been on my heart. That's what's been on my mind. And I know that you're not lazy. I know that your wants and why you want to build this business is very, very real. And I know that you have the skill set and that you're smart enough to do the things every day because it doesn't take a ton of time. We all have the same 24 hours. It just takes you making a priority out of it and doing the thing, right? Do the thing. So that's what I got. Speaking of doing the thing, I hope that you're reading this book. And maybe I'll run a couple contests and give away a couple copies as well. I got a couple extra copies here. But I would go out and just get it now. And what I love about it is that there literally are pictures and it's case studies. It shows what makes a good Facebook post, what wasn't a good Facebook post, what works on Twitter, what doesn't, why this worked on Instagram, why this didn't. I mean, it's just such a most fascinating book. And I'm a good chunk into it right now, and I'm loving it. I'm not just sitting down and reading it like cover to cover. I'll read a little bit, jot down some ideas, go apply those ideas, see how they work, come back, read the book. But it's fantastic. Today, I loved how you guys led by example and were sharing before and afters. Literally every one of you guys that shared something today, I immediately saved those pictures, put it in my iPhoto in an events calendar that says cruise stories that I can go to and reach anytime I need a post. So I shared Andy's picture today on my Instagram feed. I'm going to share Mary's probably tomorrow. I've shared Tulin's before. I've shared John's. I've shared, and even if you're like, but Jimmy, I'm just starting, you still have a story. You have something that's better now than it was before you started, whether it's your weight, your mental aspect, your self-esteem, your income. I don't know what it is, but even if you started yesterday, there's something better about you today than there was yesterday. That's a story. Don't underestimate it. And last but not least, remember, everybody's sponsoring new coaches every day. I love that. Two little things. You need to make sure that you're sending them to crewtrainings.com/new coach. This will be changing very soon. Right now, it's about a 40-minute webinar where I go through over all the basics. Because we have a Coach Basics groups that are doing very well, I will be reshooting this video. It will be more about a welcome. It'll be edifying you as their sponsor coach and the importance of plugging into you and whatever basics group that you're running. So maybe they're not running in mine. Maybe you're running your own, right? So I want to make sure that I do my job as the founder of this team to really boost you up to your people. So that's why I'm reshooting this video, basically making your job easier on you. But the website, the URL will stay the same. So as you bring them on, make sure that's taking place. So I'm just, yes, absolutely, Alana. So that was a great question. Can we share each other's stories? That's the point. The point of people sharing their before and afters in the crew wall is for everybody to take those, like fill up your story sack, right? We need to be a collector of stories. So anybody that shares a before and after or a story or a success, whether it's on a video or text or picture in the crew wall, that is property owed the crew. Just give credit to the person. Like I still tagged Andy in his picture today. So might some people actually go do business with Andy? Sure, but that's great. That's the business building. But I also invite him, like, if you want to know how Andy did this, let me know. Some people will reach out to me, but yes, great question and fantastic. So guys, looking at all this stuff. So excited about the shirts. Can't wait to see you guys. And that's even more. Like, start posting pictures with the shirts on. Keep being creative. Keep owning your business. I love how you guys are taking kind of the basics that we're teaching you and being creative and doing your own personal thing with this thing, right? That gets really exciting. So you guys have a great night, and I will talk to you soon. Y'all crush it. Good night.